Hello, welcome back. Let's continue reviewing our textbook, Drafting and Design for Architecture and Construction. This video is about our chapter 4, and that's the second chapter in our part 2, and that is all about conventions and procedures. So in this chapter, you will learn to understand the architectural drawing system, then differentiate between the types and purposes of architectural drawings, produce the line conventions used on architectural drawings, and develop good lettering techniques. Also, we'll try to see how we can sketch lines, patterns, and a floor plan. Then we'll choose between appropriate pens, pencils, and drafting media. A few terms that you need to remember, and those are coding system, compass, construction documents, detailed drawings, dividers, drafting machine, elevations, flexible curve, layering, line conventions, models, overlay, parallel slide, plans, protractor, renderings, sections, stamp pad, T-square, technical pens, template, title block, trace, triangles, underlays, vellum, and working drawings. So first of all, we need to remember that the design of a structure is interpreted through the use of several types of architectural drawings, including floor plans, elevations, construction details, and pictorial drawings. So drawings may vary from simple to complex, and the number of drawings needed to construct a building depends on the complexity of the project and the level of detail that is required for this particular project. So a minimum set of plans provides the builder with great latitude in selection of materials and processes, and they use the plans to actually estimate how much the construction cost will be. So here in the textbook, you will see a lot of different plans and elevations and other drawings. So please always go back to the textbook, check all the images, all the graphics, all the charts, because they are critically important for your understanding. So let's take a look at the types of drawings real quick. So we can have plans or plan views, and those are the views from top down, a bird's eye view, if that's a larger scale. And also there are elevations, and those are the flat two-dimensional views of all vertical walls, and that can be interior elevations and exterior elevations. Sections show a view of the slice of a planned structure, and it can be the building section, or it can be a wall section if we need to understand the wall sandwich. Detailed drawings are prepared at a larger scale than other types of drawings, and they are drawn to reveal precise information about construction methods and materials. Renderings are usually 1, 2, and 3-point perspective drawings, and they're often called pictorials. And they show how the finished product is expected to look. Models are constructed as 3D or three-dimensional reduced scale replicas of a structure or structures that are going to be the final product. So drawings used to during the building process are known as working drawings. Also, with the set of drawings, the building information is still incomplete. So much information is necessary for building a structure that not all of it can be put on a set of working drawings. So for this reason, construction documents are prepared that contain hundreds of facts and figures and legal and financial information that is related to the building process. So it can be the specifications, schedules, and other types of documents that actually are included in the set. So when you read the architectural drawings, you really need to understand different types of coding systems, let's call it this way. So the AIA, or the American Institute of Architects, architects provides the alphanumeric coding system. In the AIA's coding system, drawings are identified by letters and numbers for ease of referencing. So, for example, A indicates that the drawing belongs to a set of architectural working drawings. And for example, S is structural, M mechanical, E electrical, P plumbing, FP fire protection, and so on. So when we present the plan or elevation on a sheet, we'll need to have a title block. And in any drawing system, title blocks identify drawings in a consistent and convenient format. So also, you can do the cross-referencing. And when you draw the view sections or details in one drawing, you can actually refer to a different one. You can do a call out, and that will show you the detail in at a larger scale. So align and specialized plans in a set of drawings ensures that all structural features such as walls and columns align. And it also eliminates the potential problems of overlapping mechanical, electrical, and other systems in the building. So when you draft in CAD, there are layers, and this is a method of organizing a drawing in which specific line type, color, or entities are drawn separately. So that can be removed from or added to a drawing. So, and those include dimensions, construction lines, details, symbols, grids, furnishings, equipment, materials, and fixtures, and so on. So, and each color can also be assigned to a line weight or type. So, what else you need to remember from this chapter is the actually the architectural line conventions. So most drafting and CAD equipment is aimed toward helping an architect, drafter, or designer produce the highest quality line work. So architectural drawings are mainly communicated through a language of lines, referred to as line conventions. And the lines have meaning and can be read like the letters of an alphabet. So, for example, there are object lines and they're also called visible lines, and they're used to show the main outline of the building, including exterior walls, interior partitions, porches, patios, driveways, and walls. Then dimension lines are thin, unbroken lines on which building dimensions are placed. Extension lines extend from the object lines to the dimension lines. They're drawn thin to eliminate confusion with the object outlines. Hidden lines are used to show areas that are not visible on the surface, but that exist behind the plane of projection. Center lines denote the centers of symmetrical objects, such as exterior doors and windows. Cutting plane lines are rarely, are widely used, and they are thick lines used to denote an area to be sectioned. So also there are break lines that are used when an area cannot or should not be drawn entirely, like if it's a large pipe or if it's like a long wall and we don't want to show the whole thing just to, in order not to decrease the scale. Phantom lines are used to indicate alternate positions of moving parts, adjacent portions of related parts, and repeated detail. Fixture lines outline the shape of kitchen, laundry, and bathroom fixtures or built-in furniture. Then leaders are used to connect a node or dimension to a symbol or to part of the building. Section lines are used to indicate the cut surface in sectional drawings. Then border lines are the heaviest lines used on the drawing and are often pre-printed with the title block. Also, guidelines are drawn to provide a horizontal guide for lettering. And construction or layout lines are very light preliminary layout lines that do not become part of the finished drawing when reproduced. So also here, we talk about the architectural lettering, and I really want you to go back to the textbook and practice, because there are different styles, and you need to develop your own lettering skill. So now, of course, we don't need to do that because a lot of things are done on the computer. But back in the day, architects had to practice a lot just to create their own style. And in the annotations and keynotes, we only use the capital letters. So just keep your caps lock, and then this is how you notate all the objects and details in architectural drawings. So when we talk about the architectural drawing techniques, drawing as a verb is an overall term for the creation of all types of graphic forms. And drafting is drawing with the use of mechanical devices. So that's the only difference. Then sketching means communicating that is a means of communicating that is used constantly by designers. So in fact, most designers begin with a sketch, and then sketches or rough drafts drawn freehand, and they're used to just record dimensions and the placement of existing objects and features prior to beginning the final drawing. So here also the authors review a few drafting pencils, and of course there are different types of pencils. They're used for different types of lines, and there are mechanical pencils, there are hard pencils, there are medium, there are soft pencils, and so on. So please review the chart and see and compare and contrast them. So also there are technical pens, and ink pens are used for drafting. That's what is called the technical pens. Their points range in thickness from 0.13 millimeters to 2 millimeters. So, and you will get different lines, the different thickness of the lines. Also, there is a T-square, and the T-square serves several purposes. It's used primarily as a guide for drawing horizontal lines. It also serves as a base for a triangle that is used to draw vertical and inclined lines. You can see examples here in the textbook, so please make sure that you know how that looks, or if you don't know, just please Google that and see many different variations of that. Also, the parallel slide or parallel rule performs the same function as a T-square. And those are extremely long lines that you need to draw that can be drawn with a parallel slide. It's anchored at both sides of a drawing board or drafting board, and this attachment eliminates the possibility of sag at one end, which is common objection to the use of the T-square. Also, architects usually use triangles, and they're used to draw vertical and diagonal or inclined lines with either T-square or parallel slide. Then here we need to know that there are protractors that are used, and they provide a graduated scale applicable to all 360 degrees of a circle. You already know that. That's what people start to use at school, and then they use it throughout the whole career. A compass is used in architectural work to draw circles, arcs, radii, and parts of many symbols. Small circles are drawn with a bow compass, and large circles on architectural drawings, such as those used to show the radius of driveways, walks, and stage outlines, are drawn with a large beam compass. Also, a flexible curve is used to repeat irregular curves that have no true radius or a series of radii and cannot be drawn with a compass. Another thing that you need to remember here is the dividers. So dividing an area into an equal number of parts is a common task performed by architectural drafters. In addition to the architect's scales, Dividers are used for this purpose. So also what you need to remember here is the correction equipment, and that's the erasing shields, erasers, kneaded erasers, um, electric erasers, gum erasers, and just basic erasers, and so on. And also the drafting brush is used periodically to remove eraser and other particles. So also when we talk about aids and devices for drafting, we have architectural templates. And templates are usually made of sheet plastic. Openings in the template are shaped to represent various symbols and fixtures. For example, a symbol of fixture is traced on the drawing by following the outline with a pencil or pen. Overlays, an overlay in any sheet that is placed over an original drawing. The information placed on the overlay becomes a visual part of the original drawing, and some overlays remain separate sheets, and some are permanently affixed to the base drawing. Also, what we need to remember here is the stems. So for architectural features that are often repeated, stems are effective time savers. Stems can be used with any color ink. Stems are used most often for symbols that do not require precise positioning on the drawing, such as landscape features, people, cars, and so on. And again, here we're talking about the manual drawing. It's not drafting in any drafting software, right? Also, and now it's not really relevant, but we still have to know that we need to understand how that worked back in the day, because that was the requirement. Let's talk a little bit about the underlays. And underlays are drawings or parts of drawings that are placed under the original drawing and traced onto the original. Also, vellum, what that's the drafting medium and is a good quality tracing paper, basically. Also here you can see that there's different sizes of the vellum or drafting paper, and they are widely used when we plot to PDF as well. So please make yourself familiar with different types. So those are different scales that we use when we plot to PDF as well. So yeah, that was basically it for our chapter 4. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in chapter 5.